They nicknamed her La Donna Invisible, the Invisible Woman, because for almost 2 decades, she traversed the center of Italy's most notorious criminal underworld, and no one even had a clue what her name was. But when the world finally learned her name, it was already too late for the mafia. Her name was Anna Ferrara, not a cop, not a spy, not even a person who ever desired revenge. She was merely an art historian, a quiet woman who believed that beauty, true beauty, could never belong to evil. But in Italy, during the early 2000s, evil had money, and that money was being laundered through art. Paintings, sculptures, entire galleries, bought with dirty cash, sold for millions more. Every signature, every canvas, became a code, and behind it all was the Sicilian mafia. Anna worked for one of Rome's oldest auction houses, a marble-surfaced, chandelier-lit shrine of power. Her work was straightforward: verify artworks. But one night, while checking a purported Caravaggio, something didn't feel right. The signature was flawless, the paint beautifully aged, but when she stepped back and examined the cracks, she saw something impossible. Underneath the oil paint, there were numbers, small, microscopic engravings, serial codes, underneath layers of varnish. It wasn't a restoration mark, it was a bank code. That one finding opened the first strand of one of the biggest money laundering schemes in Europe's recent history. The mafia wasn't merely purchasing art for money laundering, they were employing the art as ledgers. Every code corresponded with a secret account in Switzerland, Dubai, or Singapore. Artworks weren't assets, they were messages, and the whole global art market was their cover story. Anna might have walked away, but she didn't. For on that night, she discovered something horrible. Those paintings she had spent her life restoring were funding murders. So she started gathering proof, quietly, stealthily. She snapped photographs of serial codes, documented shipment numbers, recorded who purchased what, where it was headed, and which museum donated it afterwards. But she also knew, one misstep, and she'd disappear. For in Italy, when you cross the 'Ndrangheta or Cosa Nostra, there are no warning signs, there are funerals. For months, she remained silent, until one day, she wrote a letter to a man named Luca Ventresca, a financial crime investigator with Interpol. The letter had just 2 lines. Art is no longer art, it's blood in disguise. In addition, there were 7 pictures of encrypted paintings. Luca had no idea who she was, but he knew the codes. They connected to offshore accounts that were already suspected in an open terrorism financing investigation. Within weeks, Interpol had initiated Operation St. Luke, an international sting operation directed against art-facilitated laundering networks linked to organized crime. And the linchpin of it all was Anna. What followed is the sort of tale that doesn't quite fit into films, because it wasn't gunfights or clandestine meetings. It was a woman coming to work each day, smiling, documenting paintings, while systematically dismantling a billion-euro empire. She became the mafia's own mirror. Whatever they created, she revealed. Whatever they concealed, she discovered. Each week, she fed Luca small, calculated bits of information, never too much to arouse their suspicions, never too little to risk losing their scent. And slowly, her ghostly hand started bringing down a world of touchable man. But then there was the Botticelli incident. A Naples private collector bought a rediscovered Botticelli painting for 18 million euros. Anna identified the mark. It wasn't a bank code this time. It was a death mark. Every piece with that symbol was tied to a single family, the De Rossi clan, and they were known for making people disappear. When she told Interpol, they warned her, "Walk away. You've done enough." But she didn't. She said, if they can corrupt art, they can corrupt anything. That night, she copied the shipping logs and sent them to Luca. It followed the painting's journey from Naples to a warehouse in Malta. 3 days after that, the police stormed in. They didn't only recover the painting. They recovered 220 million euros in cash, gold bars, and proof of dozens of illegal weapons shipments. It was one of Europe's biggest mafia seizures ever. It took hours for the De Rossi clan to realize that one of their own had betrayed them. They went hunting. People went missing. Phones stopped ringing. And then Anna disappeared too. Nobody noticed her leaving her Rome apartment. Her car remained parked outside. Her cat remained unfed. There was no sign of a struggle, no note, no call. Interpol hunted for months. Luca thought she'd been muzzled until, a year later, he got a letter. No address, no name, just one sentence. Art belongs to the truth now. A USB drive. Inside, hundreds of files, bank statements, auction records, offshore accounts. The final missing link of the operation. The papers resulted in the arrest of 37 men, 2 senior government officials and a curator of art who was connected to the Vatican's private gallery. Decades later, in 2018, an investigative reporter reported that he had tracked Anna down living with a new identity in Portugal. She asked him why she had done it, and all she replied was, "Because I couldn't watch beauty serve evil." And then she turned and walked away. The mafia is still out there. Money laundering is still lucrative in the art world. Indeed, it's estimated by experts that more than $6 billion continue to be laundered by paintings annually, each brushstroke a transaction, each masterpiece a facade. But thanks to Anna, the system is no longer transparent. Interpol now has a whole department focused on cultural finance crimes. They still apply the techniques she developed, tracing pigment batches, serial engravings, even brush strokes, to track dirty money. There's a catchphrase among investigators today: criminals hide in shadows, but art always reflects light. And occasionally, that light shines from most unlikely sources, not from power, not from politics, but from a woman who had faith that truth and beauty should never share the same master as fear. Anna Ferrara never made it big. There aren't any films about her, no interviews, no statues, no awards. But somewhere, on display in a museum today, is a painting she touched once, one that no longer conceals blood in its brushstrokes. And perhaps that's sufficient. For sometimes the strongest people in history are those the world never gets to see.